Welcome back to the Citizens channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. And we have a preview today of the FA Cup semi-final, of course, City against Liverpool at Wembley, 16th of April, 3:30 p.m. kickoff. If you're down there, guys, come and give us a shout. If you see me, please come and give me a shout. I might have my lenses in, or I might have my old specs on because my eyes are a bit tired at the moment. And last time I actually wore, this is quite a good one. I've visited Wembley quite a few times, obviously, but 1976 was the last time I had a pair of spectacles on at Wembley. Every occasion since I've worn my lenses, but I might just for a better view, and because my eyes are a bit tired, and Wembley's quite a big place to watch a match, isn't it? I might risk my specs this week, guys. What do you think? Anyway, either way, if I've got my specs on or I haven't got my specs on, come and say hello. That'll be great. Of course, we're going to have a look at our opponents. Of course, anything we learned from the 2-2 at the Etihad. And of course, anything we've learned a lot, haven't we, from the recent Champions League games. That certainly put a different complexion on this game for me. Anyway, I did have my views, but obviously based on the Atletico Madrid game and the Benfica game for Liverpool last night, probably just slightly altered those again. Of course, I'll be trying to predict our starting 11. I doubt I'll get 11 out of 11 like I did against Atletico. It's going to be very interesting, especially with the 2 or 3 players now injured from the Atletico Madrid game that we know about. Who's to know what might have happened? I mean, some players might have had knocks and were okay during the game, but obviously it shows up in the morning, doesn't it? The match is being shown on BBC One. Michael Oliver's in charge, of course, of this one. He's the ref, 37 years old, Michael Oliver. He's not a young spring chicken, is he? It's his 39th match of the season. He's shown 128 yellow cards and 8 red cards, so he has been busy. That's in 38 matches. So just under 4 a match, which is probably Premier League average for referees anyway. He's took charge of City 4 times, and the last time was our wonderful 4-1 victory over United at the Etihad. His last game involving Liverpool was pretty good for them as well. A 6-0 thrashing of Leeds United at Anfield was the last game he took charge of. His line-holes are Stuart Burton, Simon Bennett. On the old Stockley Park VAR, we've got Darren England and his assistant making him the coffee, keeping him fed with rich tea biscuits and digestives. Other brands are available. His video assistant referee, Lee Betts. Kevin Friend is the 4th official, so he'll be on the pitch, keeping Klopp, and I'm sure Klopp and Pep will be very gentlemanly to each other, but keeping an eye on things there. And the odds to win the match, the odds to win the FA Cup, City are still the favourites, but we're odds against now. We're pretty much 6-4, probably one of the better odds we've had all season since the very early rounds. Liverpool are 9-4, so still second favourites as you'd expect. The match itself, very, very close. City still favourites even after what's happened last night. 6-4. Liverpool are 7-4, so you can get a little bit of value on them if you're a Liverpool fan. And the draw is 5-2. This is 90 minutes, of course. And please, I don't condone gambling. And when the funds stop. Please check out my little odds show as well, where hopefully we'll win some more for the charity. We won some again in the Atletico game for the Christie, which is my nominated charity this year. So hopefully we can lose my voice when I mention the Christie. So hopefully we can win a bit more with this one, which it'll be tough going, but we'll have a go. Anyway, please check that out. So how's it going to pan out? Yeah, in history, FA Cup games, we started very well against Liverpool. Actually, the first 4 we played, we drew 2. And they went to replays and we won the replays. So we did very, very well, but not so much since, yeah. The 5th of January 2003 was the last, excuse me, FA Cup meeting between us, a 3rd round match at Main Road. Of course, I think that was the last season. Was that the last season of Main Road? I think it was. I might be missing out by a year, but I'm fairly sure it was. So that was a 1-0 loss. I think Danny Murphy scored the goal from memory. Record to date then, if you take that into account, plus another couple of games that we've managed to lose in the meantime. We've played 7, won 2, drawn 2, and lost 3 now, which is the last 3. So that's not great, is it? We scored 6 and let 10 in. And it will mark Pep Guardiola's 15th appearance at Wembley as City's boss. So most of us fans have certainly registered more than that visits to Wembley over the last few years and going back in time. We suffered defeats, of course, to Arsenal and Chelsea in consecutive FA Cup semi-finals. Now it's horrible to think we might go 3. Very, very possible. Liverpool are a very good team, so to lose 3 on the trot would be a bit depressing after having a great record in the FA Cup. Yeah, I think the previous 8 or something like that, we'd won FA Cup semi-finals. So it is a recent record for reasons, not because we've particularly been the bad team, but we've made other priorities. I think that's why we perhaps lost certainly one of the last 2. So we'll see what goes on with this. Liverpool, yeah, their route to the FA Cup, of course, their only top flight opponent was struggling Norwich in the 5th round. They dispatched. Talk about easy ties, which we get all the stick, don't we? But we know what Liverpool's is like in the Champions League, and look at the FA Cup ties. All right, they were all, say Notts Forest, perhaps last round wasn't that easy, but they weren't exactly hard, were they? Norwich, and they dispatched Shrewsbury, of course, in the 3rd round, and brushed Cardiff aside before obviously sneaking it against Nottingham Forest. And Klopp is in that sort of enviable position at the moment of he's having a fully fit squad. I think they've come out last night okay. I've not seen anything last night about players picking up big injuries, and he was able to make obviously 3 or 4 changes, I think, for the team that played against City at the Etihad. I think he can. Whether he will or will stick to similar tactics, as I think City's team will be changing. But I think he'll have a slightly different dynamic to this team against City at Wembley than he did at the Etihad. I thought Liverpool were just a little bit restrained on the visit to the Etihad and treated it more as a must not lose, even though it wouldn't. Obviously, it kept them a point behind us. I think that was the belief, and I think in this semi-final, I think they're going to be, and Klopp is going to be a bit more expansive and certainly more dangerous to City, who at the moment are licking our wounds a little bit, aren't we? Successfully through to the semi-final, but not in the easiest of circumstances in Madrid the other night. And I think also the big advantage this advantage is there whatever conditions City's squad is in. I think Alisson plays for Liverpool. That's their main goalkeeper. That's their main defence, and they know how to play with each other. And I'm afraid I think we will obviously stick with Stefan, which is what Pep does, and I congratulate him for that and all credit. And there's nothing wrong with Stefan, but the defensive system with City also relies on distribution. And even though Stefan is possibly as good a shot stopper as Ederson, it's that big difference of the defence being nice and compact and calm, which we don't particularly get with Stefan. I think it unsettles the defence, even if it's our best defence in front of him. And I say his distribution or calmness in that goal isn't quite the same. So that's a big disadvantage for us. If we replace Stefan, we are weakening our team. Even if we put all the best 10 out we can, we are still, in my opinion, weakening the team. It's just a fact. I don't think I'm saying anything too clever there. And we also now obviously have a question mark over certain players. We had a question mark over Diaz, who was on the bench against Madrid, so he could be ready to come back. Would Pep risking him this? I'm not too sure. I think he'd probably keep him on the bench. I think Pep surprised Klopp slightly with the tactics in the 2-2 draw, and we managed to get behind them quite successfully. So you'd think he probably would go for a similar thing up front again, but I'm not too sure he will. I'm not too sure he will now. I think as far as the FA Cup is concerned, it's third priority. I think the league, the Champions League certainly, but not too sure whether Pep will be as brave in the Etihad game as at Wembley as he was in the Etihad game. But because I think, as I said, we're going to see a far more positive Liverpool. So they're going to cause us problems, I think, at the back more perhaps so than they did at our place. As well as a keeper change for City, I do expect, obviously, even before last night, even before problems with KDB and Walker, which have obviously arisen, I thought he would play a slightly weaker team. He's not going to play kids, that's for sure. It's still going to be a strong team and capable. So, yeah, I mean, even before last night, but I think now because of last night, I think even Pep might even take it down a little notch priority again. So it is third priority, but it might look at it a little bit less as well now because of the circumstances of last night. And if you look at Liverpool, I mean, the semi-finals of the Champions League, we thought they'd play into their hands. They had a comfortable win over in Portugal, and we thought they'd play into their hands having a home game where they could be comfortable. It was 3-3. It was quite a tough game, but he was able to make 7 changes last night to that team that played City. He brought certain players on as substitutes, but that's just getting time in the legs. That's not going to be any great hardship. And I said, with our 102, 103 minute grueling night in Madrid, where we had to work really hard, not just the physicality of it, but the second half, we were actually backs to the wall for most of that second half. So, yeah, it is going to put a different slant on it. So again, coming into this game, Liverpool can be very, very positive. The plus point for why we should be perhaps positive is I think this team now, after last night, is very much together. All right, we may have to draft in certain players, but I think there's a belief now. Liverpool have got that belief. Liverpool still have a bit of momentum, even though they drew with us. I think Liverpool, and they drew last night, I think they've got momentum, and I think this will help City as well. I think that's the camaraderie, the group, the whole thing as a group is gonna sort of keep us going along and give us a really good chance in this game. Although in theory, I honestly think this will be very difficult. I think Liverpool will sneak this, but I think obviously what's happened the last 24 hours, I'm confident that City can put up a good show. And I say that camaraderie and the team spirit and the manager, everything all together, fighting all together, we can do very, very well. But it's certainly not going to be easy. That's for sure. So that sort of takes us really, doesn't it? So allowing for the starting 11 that City are going to go. This is the funny one. This is where I'm not overly sure. As I say, I doubt KDB and Walker will play in this. I know it's not been confirmed as I'm recording this, but all right, Phil should be okay. I mean, he's a bandaged head. I mean, will he play anyway? I'm not too sure. It's a cut on the head. That can be sorted out. That's no big problem, as long as he's got no head injuries that affect him concussion-wise, stuff like that, which he didn't seem to be, obviously, last night. So this is my team. I say it's an option. If I get 7 of these right, I'll be happy. I want if you let me know what you think, guys, what you think your team will be. So I am going to go for this. I am going to go Stefan. And I don't think Diaz will come back in just yet. I think he'll still be on the bench. It wouldn't surprise me if Diaz starts this game, but I think a game like this, I think he may be better coming on later on. So I'm thinking Stefan and these guys, as long as there's nothing untoward after the Madrid game, Cancelo, Stones, Laporte and Aki. Yeah, I mean, Aki does an excellent job, rather than Zinchenko would have thought on the left. So that's my 4. And obviously, is he going to bring Ferner in? I put Ferner in instead of Rodri. Give Rodri a rest. He got a bit of a run around the second half, as most of the team did last night, as I'm recording this. So I'd put Fernandinho, and he looked immense. And I think the game against Liverpool, I think it's ideal for him to play that game. Gundogan and Bernardo. Bernardo got pulled off, of course. He didn't have a great game anyway, so I think Bernardo will be up for it. And Gundogan has done enough to justify a starting place. And it's the forwards, really. Yeah, forwards. I think Jesus will play again, as he did in the Etihad Liverpool game. But I'm a bit like that, whether to put Sterling in. I probably would put Sterling in, but I've gone for Grealish and Mahrez just to change the style a little bit. All right, these guys, perhaps Jesus has got a bit of pace to get him behind. Obviously, Grealish and Mahrez haven't, but it'll just keep Klopp on his toes with Pep's tactics and change the tactics slightly to what we did at the Etihad, which obviously Klopp will allow for and plan for. So I have stuck with Grealish and Mahrez, but as I said, if I get 7 of these, I'll be off. I'm not going to get 11 with this team, I don't think. As I say, it depends how the guys are. I think psychologically, I think the City team and the squad is quite healthy at the moment. I think there's, say, physically, all right, might have a few problems, but psychologically up in there where a lot of it happens, I think we'll do all right. So I expect these guys to put up a great performance. And if we do beat Liverpool, I will be dead chuffed. And I think it will be an excellent, excellent result, because I think it will be very, very tough. And I think if I had to use my head, I think Liverpool could edge this on the day. It may go to penalties, God forbid it does that, but I just think Liverpool are capable now in their momentum, their full squad, the way they're playing, to do it. But I also think City psychologically, although I say a tough game in Madrid, can do something in this, and I'll be dead chuffed if they do. I'm not going down there just to watch us get beat. I'm going down there to cheer us to hopefully a victory, but it will be a hell of a game, and I think it will be a lot of pressure, perhaps on Liverpool as well. Who, although they're not the bookies' favourites, I think most people are thinking they'll do this. So let's do it. Let's turn it on its head. So my 11: Stefan, Cancelo, Stones, Laporte, Aki, Ferner, Gundogan, Bernardo, Grealish, Jesus and Mahrez. As I said, I'm not 100% sure with that, but we'll go for that. Right, guys, just before we finish, quirky stats, anything interesting? Yeah, some quirky ones for this semi-final. City and Liverpool have met twice at Wembley Stadium, with both games ending in a 1-1 draw. I'll probably take that before going to penalties. Citizens eventually emerged victorious on both occasions in the League Cup final of 2016 and the Community Shield 2019. So let's make it 3 on the trot, eh? This is the first FA Cup meeting between teams in the top 2 of the Premier League on the day of the game since the 2016-17 semi between Chelsea and Tottenham, a 4-2 victory for Chelsea. The only other occasion the semi-final of the FA Cup was contested by the Premier League's top 2 teams was in 98-99, won 2-1 by United against Arsenal. after a replay. City are appearing their 5th FA Cup semi-final last 6 years, only missing out in 2017-18, all under Pep. They have, however, lost 3 of the previous 4 games, only won 1, after what was an 8-match winning streak at this stage between 33 and 2013. Yeah, we sort of touched upon that earlier. Liverpool have progressed from 8 of their last 10 FA Cup semi-final sides, only failing to do so in the run in 89-90 against Palace, and in their most recent appearance at this stage in 2014-15 under Brendan Rodgers versus Aston Villa. City's Riyad Mahrez has scored 4 goals in 3 FA Cup games this season, double that in his 20 appearances beforehand. Young got 2. He scored in round 4, round 5 and quarter-final this season. The last Premier League player to score in 4 consecutive rounds in the same campaign was Romelu Lukaku for Manchester United in 2017-18. Only 4 of the last 34 Wembley goals scored by either Liverpool or City have come via English players, with Raheem Sterling responsible for both, all since moving to Manchester. The last Englishman to net for Reds at this venue was Andy Carroll in May 2012. Julian Lescott, the most recent, before Sterling to do so for City in August 2011. So there you go. There's the quirky stats, guys. Interesting game, as I said. I will have the full match report. Obviously, I'll be travelling back. Oh, God knows what time we get back after all this. The traffic's going to be a nightmare, isn't it? So I will be putting the match report out on Sunday, sometime on Sunday. Please join me back for that. I'd love to hear from you, love all your comments, etc. Of course, with the player ratings, my player ratings, and the MEN. I'll try and say I'll have to either wear my glasses or whatever to get a good view of what's going on, because I want a chance to re-watch it before I do my player ratings. So yeah, join me for that anyway, guys, if you can, the match report. And of course, we'll be looking forward to a Premier League game. Yeah, back in the old Premier League. Seems ages ago since we played a Premier League game. So next week. So keep your eyes out. Press that notification button so you know where I am, guys. If you like this, please give us that thumbs up. It's great to get likes and opinions, and please, opinions are what matter as well. Give us your thoughts. So all you regulars, I love hearing from you, and any new guys, please get on and give me your thoughts on this semi-final, which I think will be it should be a cracking game. It can be very tense at Wembley, of course it could. It might take a little time to get going, but let's hope it gets going in a positive way. And as I said, my head sort of says we might knock this one on the head and can concentrate on the Champions League and the league. But my heart says yes, let's do it. The team are together, the fans are together. We'll get behind them. Let's totally get behind them and win this. Let's do it. So will be an interesting game for the neutral as ever, which certainly was last week, wasn't it? Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. All I ask for you is to always meet again. Is please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.